Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I am just Steph, and welcome to my kitchen. I'm excited. I haven't talked to you in so long, just sort of outside of my show, so I wanted to touch base and let you know all the exciting things that are going on with me and with what I have to offer. But first, I want to talk a little bit about getting off the treadmill to enjoy your life. And I think a lot of us, we get on this treadmill and we don't know how to get off, and we're not really happy. And we're just doing and doing and doing, and we're not self-evaluating. We're not taking a good look at ourselves, and we're not able to see the areas of our lives that need to be changed. We don't know where to turn and where to go. We're just going and going and going. And a lot of times it happens when we have young kids, but as second lifers, a lot of times we're moving on from that, and these are just old habits that die hard. And when in work or at play, whatever it is, we don't take time to really look at ourselves and understand what our beliefs are, what we're all about, what we really want in our lives, and where our boundaries are. And we're not able to express that with the people around us, and we end up in unhappy situations. So I think that it's time that we start to really look at ourselves. And I think millennials seem to have this, I think they have it together. They're confident, they know what they like, they know what they want, they stand up for themselves. Men and, young men and women, I've seen it in my own kids who are in their 20s, and they're very strong, they know what they want. And for those of us who come from parents who had one foot in the 50s and one foot in the 60s, we're all confused. A lot of us had parents that stayed in relationships that they shouldn't have, or if they left, they were ostracized in their communities. They were very confused. And we had very bad examples in relationships and interpersonal relationships and conflict resolution. And back then, these are the people, our parents were the people that stayed in jobs for 40 years and retired there. We're living in all this transition where everything is just changing and changing and changing, and we're having to be on this treadmill trying to keep up with what's going on. So it's hard to take a breath. I mean, okay, so all of a sudden we've mastered Facebook, but really we should be using Snapchat and Instagram. And I don't know about you, but it's a little crazy. We don't have to, but if in order to keep up on the business side, we really need to know these other avenues for social media. And we also we need to know how to use them properly. So I think that if people just would take a good look in the mirror, just take a little time and even if they have to sit down and write it down and figure out what areas of my life am I not happy? And please don't blame everybody else. Don't blame your spouse, don't blame your dog, don't blame your kids, don't blame, whatever. This all begins with you. You need to figure out where you're not happy and why. Because this begins the whole psychological journey that we have in this life starts and ends with us. This is a very simple but profound idea that, we have to be happy with ourselves, but what does that mean? How do we grasp that? What do we do? What do we have to do? What are some realities? And I think taking a step back and looking in the mirror and saying, what areas of our lives are we not satisfied? Where are we not satisfied? Where do we need to let go of things that are toxic, that we just hang on to them for whatever reason? I don't know. And I think, I say I don't know because I guess because I've been there and I've had to shed some toxicity in my life. What areas, do you have to establish healthy boundaries? And I'm talking business-wise too. And I think businesses and companies it would be in their best interest to really address some of these. If they really care about their employees, they will address some of these issues with their employees. This isn't just about, this is the whole person. We need to be concerned about the whole person. This is not just about, what you produce in work. That's the bottom line for work and for your company. However, you're going to produce much more when you're a much happier person. When your life is on track, when you know what you want, when you're working from your strengths and gifts and not trying to improve on the negative or the flaws, or I don't even think they're flaws. It's more just what you're not strong in. So why don't you just work on those strengths, enhance those? And this is where employers really miss the boat. Everybody is reactive. Everybody is reacting instead of being proactive and making positive changes beforehand. We're making all these, we can see it in politics. We can see it in the world. I don't even want to get into that, but, it's the truth. Everybody is reacting. We need to be proactive, and we have to start with ourselves. So I wanted to present that to you because I'm very excited about some of the things that I have going on. First of all, tomorrow on my show, I have executive coach Katie Karpala, and she and I are going to be talking about emotional intelligence as it pertains to the workforce and in love relationships. And basically, emotional intelligence is knowing your emotions, understanding the emotions, acting positively and using those emotions in a positive manner and channeling that energy, and also understanding the emotions of those people around us and being able to evoke positivity through their emotions. That's emotional intelligence. Really having to understand. Do you know people in your life that really have no idea about emotions? They don't care. They don't care. They just, and I'm sorry, you shouldn't be guided by your emotions. You should be thinking rationally. However, it's part of the whole person. And when you can't understand that, you can move forward. So there's that. So we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about the importance of mindfulness, like why do we have to be mindful? Why should we be in the present? Why shouldn't we be thinking about yesterday and worrying about tomorrow? Those are, these are very deep questions, but it's very simple. Enjoy the moment, right? Well, go ahead, try it. See if you can do that. So we're going to talk about that, and Katie and I are going to discuss all that, and of course, living Atlanta for where to be this weekend in Atlanta. Also, I wanted to mention that I am available for workshops to identify these issues with people, lunch and learns, and I can tailor it to your company, your group, whatever you need. If we need to talk about it on business or on a personal level, I'm excited to present that to you. I'm in 2 locations, Boston and Atlanta. And however, I am willing to travel around the country, but that's what I'm doing. And so I'm excited about this year and the upcoming year and the fall. And the fall is just a great time for change and to make some new sort of incentives for the upcoming holidays and everything. And so I think you should think about what's important to you and trying to identify those aspects of your life that need to change and need to be improved. So that's it from me, just Steph. I love you all because that's what it's all about. It's all about the love. Wishing you love, balance, and peace. Ciao, ciao, baby.